Automatic jump hour chronograph watches. What exactly is that? The main negative I find in regards to this watch doesn't mean I don't like it. I'm here to tell you today about a super special one, a super rare one, and one that also could completely and utterly complement your watch collection for not a ridiculously obscene amount of cash. Guys, this is the Kelek Jump Hour Automatic Chronograph. This is a super juicy watch, one that you should definitely consider getting if you can find one, that is, for your watch collection. Watch newbioids, welcome back to Horology Biology. And today I am discussing the Kelek Jump Hour Chronograph. It is an automatic watch, it is a beefy watch, it is one that looks awesome on your wrist and one that you should definitely consider if you haven't already, even if you haven't heard about it before. We have now. Now this watch originates from the 1970s, produced by Kelek. Now the watch in question was used by other companies along the way as well. Elgin was one of them. They used exactly the same style dial, exactly the same movement, and exactly the same case. There were other ones along the way as well, as you can see in the images. The Kelek, as far as I'm concerned, is the original because the movement was actually built by them. It has the 1376 movement inside. The 1376 is actually a modified 1393 produced by Tenadoli and Kelek. Basically, Kelek adapted this 1393 movement and modified it. So back in the early 1970s, this was actually the smallest automatic chronograph watch going out there according to documentation. Now this watch is really nice, I'm not gonna lie. If you look at the dial and the attention to detail that these guys put into it, they really wanted to make it look like a showstopper. And I'm pretty sure that they did that. I mean, just check it out. The case is 36mm, and you'd think that it's actually bigger, but it's not. 36mm excluding the crown with a 20mm lug size. Now here's the catch when it comes to this watch. This watch is beefy. It looks like you have a fridge on your wrist. It is 15mm thick. 15mm thick. It's not normal, man. Seriously.
Is that big enough?
The reason being is because they used, as I mentioned before, this modified 1393 caliber and they stuck the chronograph on top. This makes it more beefy, so they had to have a much more beefier case to adapt this. So at 15mm on your wrist, that's pretty henchy, but it pulls it off, as you can clearly see in the images, and it looks robust and super nice. The other thing to add in regards to this watch as well is that it does have a date function. The other thing that I do like about this date function is that it's a sheer snap. So they basically made it that the date snaps over exactly at 12. It doesn't just build up, it stays exactly strong, and then as soon as it hits midnight, bam, it's over. Just like on the hour, bam, new hour, bam, new date, bam, new life, damn. But it really works well in regards to that, and I really like the way that they did this and they designed it. It just works great. And of course, like I've mentioned as well, you have a 60-minute chronograph. The only thing that I was a little bit surprised when it comes to the chronograph, and of course it's because of the way it's built, this isn't a chronograph that functions, for example, like column wheel, where it like snaps over on the minute, etc, etc. It basically gradually goes over as the minute progresses, similar to like a lot of Lemania based movements. They also did them in gold plated. That's something that I don't like personally. I think they look a little crappy in gold plate. You're much better off going for the silver version. And to touch on that, it's not a stainless steel case. It is actually a chromed case.
So shiny, so chrome.
Chrome case from the 70s, they wear really easily and they're not as good as stainless steel at all. Everybody was doing it back then, so obviously that's why it's not a stainless steel case, which is a shame. That's another drawback, that I actually would have preferred this to be a full stainless steel body rather than just a stainless steel case back and a chromed case. So what are the key things about this watch that you should really look for in regards to it? Well, of course you want to find one in working conditions because it is quite a complicated movement, so you want it to make sure it works and everything is functioning correctly. As you can clearly see in the images, it's a jump hour, so therefore it doesn't have an hour or a minute hand. It has discs underneath the dial which operate the hour and the minute, and as the hour comes to a close, it will snap over onto the next one. Super nice, you might add. I agree, it is. What do I like about this watch? Well, first of all, I like the way that it's 36mm, and that's my limit. I don't go lower than 36. I'm a 36 minimum guy. Seriously, I won't test nothing lower than that. But because of its height, it makes it look more beefy and time like it's a bigger watch in question. So that's a given straight right there. The other thing that I really love about the watch obviously is the dial. You can see the textures on it. It reflects in the sun with a really nice blue tint to it. Sometimes it looks black, but it's not. It's actually blue. And in certain sunlights, it will actually reflect a lot more blue coming back at you. So you got a lot of color going on. On top of this, it's also a chronograph. So it's a 60-minute chronograph, which is super nice. It's useful. Not like a chrono stop, not no 60-second. No sir, 60 minutes. Upgrade. But of course, there are negatives. The main negative I find in regards to this watch, doesn't mean I don't like it. Don't think I don't, because I do. It is absolutely 100% completely useless the minute it gets a little bit dark. You can't see shit.
I can't see!
I'm serious. You won't see anything, man. I mean, here you are, yeah. You have a watch which is basically like a fridge on the side of your wrist, and as soon as the light gets a little bit low, you can't even read the discs at all. They are completely unreadable. You have no idea what time it is. The only way that you could do it is by getting your phone out, turning on your flashlight, and basically shining it on your watch to tell you time. Now that's not fresh. That completely defeats the idea of having the watch in the first place. I mean, check out the situation. You're walking down the street at night, it's around 8 o'clock, just starting to get low light, and some like nice girl walks past you and say, "Hey, excuse me, sir, do you have the time?" Well, of course I do. Let me just check that out for you. What are you gonna do? Whip out your iPhone and point it at your wrist and look like a moron? Trying to like get the time for her? No, man, that's not fresh, that's not sexy, and that's not what you wanna do. That's my only negative in regards to this watch. It's just really crappy in low light. Now, these watches are quite rare. They do not come up often, but every now and again you do see them. Always in the usual places that I've mentioned before, so I do not need to go into an obscene amount of detail regarding that. So, eBay, Instagram, blah blah blah, etc, etc, etc. If you want to know more on that, check out my other videos and I provide more details of where to buy things like this, where I buy things like this. So guys, if you like what I'm doing, feel free to hit a like on this video. You can also subscribe to my channel if you want. If you do subscribe, you will of course be notified when the next Horology Biology goodness is gonna drop, of course. Please leave a message in the comment section as well, telling me that you subscribed, and I will try my best to reply to each and every one of you newbioids. Okay guys, until next time.